My ex-husband says I should refund his child support because I do not need it anymore. Now, he's the one paying me instead. Craig left when our daughter was 4 and our son was 2. He said he wasn't happy. He said he felt trapped. He said marriage and kids happened too fast, and he needed to find himself. What he actually needed to find was his co-worker, a woman named Danielle, who he'd been seeing for 6 months. I found out about her 3 weeks after he moved out. He didn't even have the decency to tell me himself. His sister let it slip at a grocery store. She thought I already knew. I didn't. I spent the first year barely holding it together. I was working as a receptionist at a veterinary clinic, making barely enough to cover rent on a 2-bedroom apartment. Craig was supposed to pay child support. The court ordered him to, but he was always late. Sometimes by a week, sometimes by a month. He always had an excuse. His car broke down, his hours got cut, Danielle needed surgery. There was always something more important than his own children. I never took him back to court. I should have, but I was exhausted. I was working full-time, raising 2 kids alone and trying to survive. I didn't have the energy to fight him, so I just made it work. I picked up extra shifts. I skipped meals so the kids could eat better. I learned how to fix things around the apartment myself because I couldn't afford to call anyone. For 3 years, I lived like that. Then I met James. He came into the clinic with a sick dog and left with my phone number. He was kind, patient. He didn't care that I had 2 kids. He said he always wanted a family. We dated for a year before he proposed. I said yes. We got married when my daughter was 8 and my son was 6. James officially adopted them a year later. Craig signed the papers without hesitation. He said it was the right thing to do. What he meant was that it got him off the hook. No more child support, no more obligations. He could pretend his first family never existed. And for a while, that's exactly what he did. He and Danielle got married. They bought a house. They had a baby. He posted pictures online like he was father of the year. Meanwhile, he never called our kids. Not on birthdays, not on holidays. He missed every school play, every soccer game, every parent-teacher conference. The kids stopped asking about him after a while. They started calling James dad. I thought that chapter of my life was closed. I was wrong. Last month, Craig showed up at my house. I hadn't seen him in almost 5 years. He looked different, older, tired. He said he and Danielle were getting divorced. She'd been cheating on him for 2 years. The house was being sold. He was going to lose most of his savings. He said he'd been doing a lot of thinking. He said he made mistakes. He said he wanted to reconnect with the kids. I told him I'd talk to them and see how they felt. That was my first mistake. My second mistake was giving him my new phone number. The texts started that same night. He wanted to know their schedules. He wanted to know their favorite foods. He wanted to know if they still remembered him. I answered some of his questions. I was trying to be civil for the kids' sake. Then he asked if he could take them for a weekend. I said we should start smaller, maybe a dinner first. He agreed, but then he continued to push. He wanted to take them to his apartment. He wanted to be part of their school events. He wanted to meet their teachers. He was acting like he could just waltz back in after 5 years of nothing. Then last week, he sent me a message that made my blood boil. He said he'd been looking at his finances. He said the divorce was costing him everything. He said he knew the adoption meant he didn't technically owe child support anymore, but he thought maybe I could help him out, just temporarily, just until he got back on his feet. He said James made good money. He said I clearly didn't need any help anymore. He said it would only be fair if I returned some of the child support he paid back when he was struggling. He actually wanted me to give him money. The man
Scan the QR code to enjoy the wonderful continuation for free. New users will also receive additional rewards.